Alright guys, I'm behind the camera now. I'm just doing a quick video on this new Ferrari 458. As you can see, it came from a dealership many states away, and the plastic was removed and unfortunately was washed and cared for. I'm using air quotes for that, but I'm behind the camera. I want to show you something interesting. Let's see if I can focus this. Do you see that right there? Oh, this is dealer installed swirls. Let's come from this angle. See them right there? Bang. Now you can see them, hopefully. Right here. Right, and now let's go up on the door handle. Let's go this side. Do you see them right? Oh, you can see them now. See there? Right? So it's typical, somebody goes to grab the door and misses and hits that, so the dealership took those out. And we have another one here. Oh, you can see them big time right there. All right. And some more back here. Actually, big ones right there. Look at that. Jeez. Some on the back bumper and some on the front hood there. So, anyways, dealer installed swirls. I'm going to go over a quick little thing. It's not a huge deal. You would prefer to prevent them, meaning not put them in the first place. But I'm going to show you how to take them out right now. All right, guys, let's talk about how to remove the swirls that were installed from the dealership. Before we do, you can see that I'm wearing knee pads. Now, yesterday I went to Caffeine and Carburetors, which is equivalent to the West Coast Cars and Coffee, really early in the morning, 2-3 hours, and then you're out of there. Fantastic event. It's a new Canaan. You guys should look it up, caffeineandcarburetors.com, I believe, if you're an East Coast person. Unbelievable, amazing. But anyways, when I was at the show, someone came up and watched the show and said, dude, your knees, I can only imagine are raw. I want to give you these things. And I was like, oh, wow, that's really nice. And so thank you for that if you're watching. Let's get into this. I'm using the Rupes 3-inch Bigfoot Mini. Fantastic, ridiculously good tool. And typically I would use the Meguiar's 3-inch cutting pad to cut this. I don't think it needs it. It's always good to start from least aggressive to most aggressive. So if I need to go to that, I'll go to it. But for now, I'm using the white Rupes pad with a bit of polish on there. So you're going to, it's only a tiny little area, right? You're gonna tap, tap, tap. Make sure you're on the right level. I'm about 2.5, 3. Spread her in. So now I'm just quickly spreading it in. And now I'm gonna put a little pressure. Now these swirls were pretty superficial, so it shouldn't be that big of a deal. All right, so we wiped it off and it looks great to the naked eye, but how do you know if you actually removed all the swirls? So what typically happens is you go to a polish, right, and you polish everything out and it looks great, and then 2 or 3 weeks later you go to wash it, it comes back. You're like, well, man, I thought I got all that. And typically, that's not the case. So how do you do that? So what I do is you take a little isopropyl and you spray it on there. You can make that mixture yourself. I'm gonna let that sit for a second. You can make that mixture yourself with isopropanol and 50-50 with water, but there's different ratios. You can look online which one, if you're not sure, just kick up the water, so put more water than isopropanol, but basically 50-50 is a good shot. So let it sit there for a second, and now you're going to wipe it off. And what that's doing is that's removing any of the fillers, any of the leftover polish, anything that you didn't get with that 1 or 2 swipes with the microfiber towel first, because that's going to fill in the scratches. Much like wax or sealant or coatings or anything is going to fill in those scratches. But the trick, or the thing to think about, is when you're doing like a concourse car, Pebble Beach car, the goal is to make the car look brilliant without any wax on it. And I know people go like, well, wait a second, they put wax. Yeah, of course we put wax on it afterwards. But think of the wax, and I've said this in the past in a lot of my seminars, as like a flower or a boutonniere, when you go to the prom or whatever, right? It only lasts for a couple of hours and it looks great, but the real work is the tuxedo. So us, wet sanding or compounding or polishing, whatever we need to do to make that paint flat, that's the tuxedo. The wax is just protection that goes on top. The byproduct is it happens to look good as well. It happens to be shiny. So it's something to think about. So anyways, we took off all the wax. Now we're really sort of naked and we can see if we got anything. This is the Rupes new light. Ridiculous light, by the way. Very hard to get, but Nobody can take this light from me. This is the best thing I have. So I take my little light because it's very, it's very light. It's not heavy, so I can keep it in my pocket, which is a big deal. So I can go in. A lot of times people see me, I'll change the angle of my face, my eyeballs, to make sure that it's gone. So what I'm seeing right now, hopefully the camera, I don't know if you can pick it up. It's so light at this point. I got most of this off, or all of this off, and I missed a little section here. So I didn't go wide enough. So what I'm going to do is go back with the polishing pad and do that. Now, if I looked at this and it was still there and it was kind of deep, and I said, maybe the paint's harder than I thought, I'd go back and start over again with the leveling fluid and the microfiber cutting discs, then go to the polishing pad, wipe it with IP, check it over again, and then move on. But the lesson for today is don't fool yourself by thinking that it's gone when it's really not, because you didn't wipe it off with an IP solution. Just go to CVS and get isopropanol, mix it 50-50, or look at ratios. I'm not gonna, whatever you're comfortable with your ratio, put it on there, wipe it off. And then it's sort of like I've said before in the past, it's kind of like going to the doctors and they make you take your clothes off so they can see and get in and do whatever they need to do. That's what we're doing here. So dealer, factory installed squirrels, as they say, it's not the end of the world, but I'm also only going to do spots because I don't want to have to level this whole thing. This car is so brand new. It's a couple hundred miles. I think it's even less than that I'm not going to go polishing the whole car. The idea is to leave it alone. You want it as virgin as possible, and then you want to put sealant on there, then you want to put wax on, you want to put the protection or the flour to keep it looking shiny. You don't want to have to do what we're doing here. So but when you get it, this is the steps, and of course the best step is prevention. So if you can get them to leave the wrappings on, like we talked about in the McLaren video, or if you can get them to not wash it, which is more challenging than I thought. A lot of people are saying, hey man, they really want to wash it, but believe me, if you put enough pressure, they'll just say, all right, this guy's crazy, we won't wash it, let him pick it up. That's a great idea, so you can avoid doing this. If you have any questions, of course, shoot me an email at larry@ammonyc.com. If you have any questions about the products and the Rubes and the Meguiar's cutting disc, the leveling fluid, jeweler's polish, anything, of course, contact me. As always, I appreciate you guys watching, and spring is here, so enjoy. And this is the after shot. Hopefully you can see, I'm trying to focus at the same time. The swirls are gone. The ones in the back here are gone. Let's focus. Car is looking very good. Get a front shot. After a nice polish and some skin on there, she's looking good to go. All right, thanks guys. Talk to you soon.